Were you ever in the middle of the most intense ranked climb in your favorite multiplayer game, only to face the sweatiest motherfucker in the face of the earth, or be paired with some mentally impaired prepubescent screaming child, rendering the past 3 hours of grind useless? Well, fear not, for I bring you the game with guaranteed fair matchups and nail-biting 50% odds every single time. Welcome to Queue Up. Queue Up is an online 4v4 competitive coin flipping game. This is probably the dumbest sentence I ever said. Queue Up is also, for obvious reasons, much more than that, lest it be mind-numbingly stupid. So, let me break it down and see where we end up. The game opens up, you choose a hero and are tossed into an arena with 2 teams of 4 players facing off while a coin is automatically tossed. Whichever team's side comes up first 3 times wins, granting you some rank, money and experience. After the match, you reach a main hub, and this is where things get interesting. You open emails, level up skills based on your hero, gain access to a shop, and slowly but surely start understanding that this isn't about coin flipping at all. Before we dive in, all I'm about to say is just my limited experience with the demo, which consisted of beating the game 3 times, once for each available character. Okay, back to the topic at hand. As soon as you reach the main hub, every step of the journey is absolutely chock full of satirical references to other media, mostly games, business practices and tired tropes you've seen elsewhere. You're prompted to set up your settings, including but not limited to the whale sensitivity or the randomness of your machine. You're drowned in articles about how perfect the queue-up matchmaking algorithm is so that you have an expected win ratio of 50% based on quantum juxtaposition or something. You accept premium in-game currency with shady terms and conditions that enroll you as a worker for the queue-up developers themselves. You use said premium currency to unlock the shop, only to realize that the first unlock merely graces you with the opportunity to actually unlock the shop for realsies this time. You pay to be able to pay further. This is one side of the coin. On the flip side of this weird meta-narrative, you have the gameplay element consisting of hero progression and equipable items. The ultimate goal of the game is to climb the ranked ladder by acquiring Q points. You gain these Q points by winning matches, and can influence how many Q points you win and lose via each hero's unique passive and skill trees. The skill tree is mechanically fairly unique. As you level up, it unlocks nodes that can be either static or movable, each with its own trigger conditions and effects. Some trigger on every coin flip, others when you win, and even some very specific conditions like the amount of medics on the enemy team, for example. Then the effects either increase one of the several currencies or force trigger other nodes. Static nodes can be upgraded and the movable nodes can be, well, moved around. This is relevant because nodes trigger in a predetermined order and most impact the area around them, so placement matters quite a lot. Items have similar triggers and effects, each with its own rarity and archetype. This is when it suddenly hits you, or at least when it hit me. This random-ass multiplayer coin flipping thing is actually a single-player incremental game. Yes, on the surface everything is random, your team composition, your teammates' builds, the coin flips, but with proper skill builds and strategies, you can turn losing rounds into a drop in the ocean, while winning ones rack up millions of Q points, literally. Different characters even have different win conditions. The medic, for example, scales up in power as you lose rounds, the gambler thrives on winning streaks, the mint infinitely scales as you guess the heroes on the enemy team. This is all fundamentally irrelevant when you think about it, as the game obviously gives you tools to tip the scales in your favor, and the matches themselves are a glorified slideshow with pretty colors, and it's up to you to exponentially maximize your gains regardless of outcome, just like in any other incremental game. With that said, I found myself genuinely on the edge of my seat when my gambler combo was just about to pop off, requiring just a single Q side flip to set my winning streak on fire and multiply off of my Q side winner item. What am I even talking about? Queue Up is unequivocally, literally 100% a 4v4 multiplayer competitive coin flipping game, while at the same time managing to be neither multiplayer nor competitive nor really about coin flipping at all. I'm in absolute awe at what was achieved here, and I guess just wanted to nerd out over it for a little bit. Now, like I said, this is my early impression from the very limited demo alone, which left me beyond excited to try the full experience, but also with some reservations. I wonder how diverse heroes actually end up being in the final experience. By the end of each of my runs, my skill builds were all a small variation of identify which static node grants the maximum amount of Q points, and then cluster all movable nodes around it, force triggering it more or less regardless of any of the results. And don't get me wrong, I do like incremental games, despite understanding they're kind of dumb when you think about them, but that's as long as they give me meaningful decisions rather than mindless upgrades to mince through. Another thing that worries me is how much control do you end up having over the different random aspects of the experience. For example, the mince hero passive makes you guess a hero that will show up on the enemy team for some exponentially growing bonuses. On the demo, this was trivial to achieve, given there's only 3 characters and everyone and their mothers was using the gambler, but on the full game with 8 heroes, it might be a bit frustrating to never really get your build off the ground. Anyway, all of this to say, I cannot wait for November 5th, the date of the full release. Go and wishlist Queue Up right now. See ya!